Hey, everybody, it's Dave here from Vikings First and SKOL, and we are with the live at the 2-minute warning show. There's 2:57 left, however, and your Minnesota Vikings are up by 10. Scores 20-10. The Vikings have the ball. It's the fourth quarter. Like I said, 2 minutes, 57 seconds to go. We're 3rd and 5. This has been an absolute interesting ball game, if you want to call it that. Thank Odin for our defense, without a doubt. All right, Brosmer drops back. Caught by Justin Jefferson for about 10 yards on the pass. Got a first down. That should put JJ, as in Jettas, close to his 1,000 yards. Or at least the Minnesota Vikings record of beating Randy Moss. Boom. There we go. That's good. Good. And it looks like the offense is in positive yardage. Like I said, it's been a weird game. All right, Brosmer drops back, hands off to Aaron Jones. That guy's an Iron Man tonight. Absolute Iron Man. So it is absolutely good for us. Now, wondering why I'm not seeing anybody in the chat. You can see 8 people are watching, at least at the beginning, which is cool. Justin Jefferson has a whopping only 30 yards tonight. Wow. Well, he's not going to hit the 1,000 this week unless he gets a big banger. We'll see. We're commercials. So what do you think of Netflix streaming it? Everybody's streaming. And it matters what device you're watching on. Hey, Cody, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Chuck. Hope everybody's had a very wonderful Christmas. And hopefully the Vikings come away with the win, which they should at this point in the game. We're at the 2-minute warning. Hitting the roll-in. Welcome to Vikings First and SKOL's live at the 2-minute warning. Next. I love how the Gink stole Christmas from the Lions. Yes. NXT 36. Very good. Chuck says Kamara can take his 6 TDs and stuff 6 turnovers for the D. A Christmas miracle. Yes. Big Nut 6 flipping turnovers. You got that right. And Harry the Hitman Smith got his 39th, which is good. And he also got another sack, which is good. It was interesting to hear the stat that there's only been 2 other safeties that have gotten 40 and 20. And so maybe you can get one next week and get that 40 and 20. Vikings became the Grinch and stole the Lions playoff gifts. Oh, you know they did. Merry Christmas, Chris. We should have seen this repeatedly if we started in September. Big Dan gonna put some Band-Aids on his kneecaps today. All the ladies are modeling the Netflix robes. They look a lot better this year than they did last year. Christopher says, thank God he didn't start Goff in his fantasy Super Bowl this week. Yeah. Aaron Jones runs to the right, gets maybe a yard. All right. Merry Christmas, Chevy. Merry Christmas. And I hope everybody's had a wonderful Christmas, and it's full of joy and goodwill and love, even if we're yelling at the Vikings offense. But thank Odin for our defense. Do you think this will up Brian Flores' stock somewhere? If If I were the Wilfs, I'd bring him in the office and say, I'll pay you what you want. Fig Nut says this has been the best present he's gotten all day. Good. All right. Chuck agrees. Chevy says Ty Chandler made him smile today. It was good to see Ty Chandler back. Merry Skolsmas to you, Fig Nuts. Absolutely. Absolutely. Back-to-back 8-8. Who saw that coming, Chuck? Yes. Merry Christmas, Ron. Good to see you. Netflix better stick with movies. Hey, they're the ones that paid for all of this. At least they've gotten better than the first time they attempted it, where we max out the servers and get the spinning wheel of death. Detroit Lions were favored by 7.5. Don't deserve to be in the playoffs. Now, and with this loss, they are eliminated, I do believe. They needed to win both and have the Packers lose both. I would love the Packers to lose the last one just because it's the Packers. Now, will that happen? We'll find out. And we'll be here to talk about it. All right, minute 8 left. It's 4th and 4. Somebody took a timeout. Probably Detroit. But we'll see. Minnesota Vikings have 1 timeout left. Holy crap, I just realized he won his bet over the Vikings win total this year. Let's hope the D can do this to the Pukers next week. Yes. And FTP, Chuck, or Chevy, absolutely. And we'll get into that all next week. And Will Reichert, perfect. Absolutely perfect. That is amazing. Vikings now are up 23-10. And the Dallas kicker, your Pro Bowl kicker, missed some today, too. It is amazing. This has been just one of those a Christmas miracle game. But, hey, it's good for Vikings fan on Christmas. Those that spent the money and went to the game, at least they got to see a win. I think that is great, especially the ones that brought kids. You see the kids in the stands. It's a great thing. Chevy says big leg Bill's worth anything he wants. Well, he's a rookie, so he's on a rookie salary. Fig Nuts, who would have thunk it? We sweep the Motor City Kittens. Yes, we did. Chuck says Vegas won huge. 77% of the money was on the Lions. Whoa. Brian says Flores for AC and bring in a new OC. Hey, Mary. Good to see you. Merry Christmas. Hey, Forlorn Hope. Cheers to you as well. I am unfortunately not consuming tonight. I had to spill down the stairs and my back's bothering me, and I took some pain meds. But it is what it is. Here we go. Minute 4 seconds left. Jared Goff from the shotgun. Takes a snap. Fires it off. Caught by number 12. Number 18, pardon me. All right. For a first down. Brian says sloppy offense to win. Brian, sloppy is a compliment to what we saw tonight. And an incomplete pass this time. All right. Yes, Forlorn Hope, the liver does need a break every once and again. While, yes, it does. especially after I hit it hard last weekend during the game. Absolutely. The defense got in high gear today, yes, and they have been most of the season, which is cool. St. Brown down again. Plus, I took some Tylenol, and I don't want to, speaking of messing up your liver. But, hey, it is what it is. All right. 38 seconds left. 2nd and 10. St. Brown still down on the field. And Fig Nuts, yes, it was the defense we expected to see all season. It's a top 5 defense, without a doubt. Just a shame that they couldn't keep their no touchdowns thrown against streak going to 7 games. But it is what it is. Now, do we think Harrison Smith, who's been playing balls out these last few weeks, will call it quits, or will he come back for another year? Chevy just post, Hitman's coming back next year. Odds. It is what it is. Hey, Australian Sculptor, Burma. You're in Burma? Interesting. David says, one more good drive. Oh, yes, you were right. All we did was the turnover. We got it. Chris, $2 super chat. If JJ plays, we win in 20 by 28. Hey, I'm all for the young man. I hope he does develop next year. Hope he stays healthy enough. Nice now that we're going to get the 18th pick in the draft. Yes, Biggs, isn't it? Brian says he will retire. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from my family in Australia to yours, and from us to you as well. All right. Goff back, takes a snap, drops, boom, gets pressure. Nope. It's caught by number 0 for a first down, but the clock is ticking. They cannot stop the clock unless they throw it out of bounds, and they're not doing that because Dan Campbell isn't the smartest tool in the shed. Derek. But YOLO, F the Lions. Yep. Boom. Tackled in bounds. Keep that clock going. 1-0. Game's over. Game's over. Your Vikings win. Vikings win. Vikings win. The final score. Your Minnesota Vikings surprisingly defeated the Detroit Lions 23-10. 23-10. And just to think Vegas had the Lions favored by 7.5. It is something special. A Christmas miracle, if you want to call it that. It was absolutely special. 6 turnovers. Just unbelievable. Anthony says that might as well have been the old Purple People Eaters D out there today, Dave. Well, they played slightly different, but yeah, it was a good one. It was a good one. And did this D ever come up with a nickname? I don't think it did. At least not one that stuck. Brosmer gets his first win. Christopher said Addison ran it like he was running from the cops. Hey, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. By all means. That was the best play call, offensive play call of the day, in my opinion. Absolutely. Best offensive play call of the day. And there we go. Lions have been eliminated from the playoffs. First time since 2022. And see the tears in my eyes? There are none. It is what it is. Boom. The Van Ginkel Turner sandwich. They're showing the highlights. Yes. Let's go. Hey, I've got the man, the myth, the legend, Darren. How's the weather down there, down south, where you are?
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, not. I'm south, but the weather's still pretty cold. So,
well, Alberta is south of Yellowknife.
It is, yes, but not. But yeah, no, I've been. We got convergence of weather systems, and we've been really cold down here for the past ever since we've been here. But anyway,
well, I bet this game warmed your heart.
It did. I have not seen a Vikings defensive performance like that in, I can't remember how long it's been.
Since the Purple People Eaters?
Well, a little bit before my time, but very, very, obviously very, very impressive. Brian Flores was, he knew that the Detroit Lions offensive line is not what it's been in previous years, and I think he was determined to send the house and get Goff off his spot as much as he possibly could and get him moving his feet, and it worked brilliantly today. And I don't know, was it all like, is it this is not the defensive performance we have seen against the Lions by the Vikings in 4 seasons, even with Flores there. So really, really impressive, and they needed it because the offense couldn't do anything. And
Murph and Gink get the big red Christmas robes from Netflix.
Yeah, I think you could give that to a lot of people, and it's
they've got virtually the whole defense out there.
Yeah,
but they only had 2 robes.
Yeah, but the same thing that happened in the first game in Detroit, Dave, where the Vikings earned the right to rush the passer because they shut down the running game, and they totally negated Gibbs and Montgomery. They had very little room to run. They were constantly in 3rd and 10, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 8. When the Lions have been dominating the Vikings over the past 3 years on offense, they've often been in 2nd and 3, 2nd and 2, off of 6 or 7 yard gains consistently through the running game. They did not get that opportunity in Detroit to do it, and the Vikings were even better in the running game today. Just a much better run fits than we have seen from the Vikings in a lot of games this year. And yeah, I don't know what to say. Hitman played out of his mind today. He's been playing so good the past 4 or 5 games. It makes you wonder, does this guy really need to retire? So yeah, I did.
Hitman was the first one to take a bite out of those tomahawk steaks too.
And yeah, he gets a sack today. He reads the play perfectly and jumps on an in breaking route short to Amon St. Brown that the Lions have completed against the Vikings defense over and over and over for the past 3 or 4 seasons. And because the pass rush was getting to Goff, he was antsy in there, and he's not. He just wasn't on target. He wasn't comfortable the whole game. 6 turnovers. I mean, 6 turnovers. Like, what is going on? So, and you knocked the Lions out of the playoffs, which is very, very nice.
Yes, it's karma. Merry Christmas to all that have joined us since the last time I said Merry Christmas. I hope you've had a wonderful and loving holiday. And this was the Christmas miracle that made it even brighter as your Minnesota Vikings defeated the Detroit Lions by a final score of 23-10, which is we laughed the whole. Darren and I and Miss Mary are in a chat, and we're talking during the whole game, and just we couldn't believe how we were sitting negative on offense virtually the entire game. Only went positive late, but our defense was keeping us in it, and it just Unbelievable.
Well,
The defensive performance.
They won it. Like the only reason we scored a touchdown today was because of the defense setting them up, as well as I think a couple of the field goals. So yeah, if your defense doesn't do what they do today in a kind of a once in a decade kind of performance, we're not looking at this game as a Vikings win. Anyway, I don't want to hear people, go ahead, talk about loss of draft position and all that sort of thing. But, that's
Biggs already has.
Yeah. But, these players are not going out to play for draft position. They're going out to play for their jobs and to play as well as they can to help their team win games on both sides of the ball. And however it ends up, it ends up. So,
now, speaking of all three phases, seeing Miles Price get attacked by the turf monster on the opening kickoff was sad.
So
I haven't heard other than it's his ankle.
Okay, because I had the sound was turned down pretty low where I was, so I didn't know. Did he hurt his shoulder when he fell down, or what the deal was?
No, they showed a replay, slow motion, and his ankle went, and it turned.
There's one game left, so if he doesn't play next week, and that's probably likely if he's got a bad ankle, then he's got a full off season to get better. And then the Vikings run Ty Felton out there or Ty Chandler out there and see how things go. And a
or
few people talking or whatever. Yeah, but it'd be Felton or Chandler who would be the two guys back there for sure, or the one guy back there. But a few people talking in the chat about 5 in a row would be nice. Yes, it would. I think going 9-8 to end this season, the way the season has gone, gets you into the off season on a much better feeling than if you're 7-10 or 6 or 11 and that sort of thing.
Well, if we win next week, that secures the third spot in the division.
I think the not worrisome, but I guess the thing with this is that with a defensive performance like this and the way the Vikings defense has played in the last 6, 7, 8 games, ever since the Chargers game, really, I'm still not seeing Brian Flores mentioned as a coaching candidate for any of the openings that are being mentioned when they bring up defensive players. It happened again today in The Athletic. They're bringing up who's in line for the Titans job. No mention of Brian Flores. But this is the kind of performance against, a really good Detroit offense usually does that catch people's attention for a guy who does not have a contract with the Vikings? And even if he did, he can move to a head coaching job anyway. But it scares the bejesus out of me that this guy could not be coordinating this defense in 2026.
Biggs, you're a man after my own heart, smoking a Cohiba and watching two old guys. That's cool. And didn't want to do that. Want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas again. Even the fans from Detroit.
I was hoping to see a better performance out of Max Brosmer. Unfortunately, we didn't get that. And some things stacked against him, right? You got 3 of your starting offensive linemen who are not in the game. TJ Hawkinson does not play today, and he's been asked to block a lot this year, more than he has in the past. I think that hurt them as well in the pass protection sort of things. So you're going up against Green Bay next week, and if you're looking to get 5 in a row, you're probably not going to be able to do it with that kind of offensive performance.
Now back to Flo. Everybody's bringing up the lawsuits, and that's possible. It's going to have to take some owner willing to buck against the other owners to say, no, I'm going to still make him my head coach. If the lawsuit isn't ended by then. It's supposedly scheduled for this spring, a court appearance deal. But knowing our courts, it'll get postponed again or something like that. So,
yeah.
But that it'll be way after, teams hire head coaches. So
yeah, I think that at least the not a positive, but because once the season is over, the teams that are looking for head coaches are going to be looking to fill up those spots very quickly. So at some point in January, we will know if Flores is got a head coaching job. But the other thing I'm worried about is him leaving Minnesota for a defensive coordinator, assistant head coach position where he's making more money there than he is here. And looking at turning around a defense for another team that maybe he thinks has a better shot of making the playoffs and getting his name out there more than he has. And we've talked about this for several shows now, Dave.
Dallas.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Where you only need a little bit of a turnaround in the defense to get that team in a situation with the offense they have where their record is much better than it's going to be at this year. Anyway, speculation.
Tyler's joining us, a little bit out of focus, but he's joining us.
Yeah. Sorry, that's because I have to upload the video I recorded just now. A lot of times I can wait, but I don't want somebody else to have to wait for me on Christmas. So you're just going to have to deal. You're just going to have to deal with it being 1997 with the scramble vision and the bunny ears. It's fun to be retro because this looked like a retro Lions game. They looked bad. I thought early on that offense looked a little disinterested. They didn't really look like they had the juices flowing. It almost felt like the end of that Steelers game just kind of crippled them emotionally, which can happen. We've seen the Vikings have a brutal loss like that, and then they come out and absolutely crap the bed. So seeing the defense play so incredibly well without Jonathan Grenard, without Josh Metellus, I thought was tremendous. And hats off to Brian Flores. I know you guys were talking about him maybe getting a head coaching job. I still have my doubts because of the lawsuit, but there are going to be more owners like the Wilfs who just don't care and agree with what the lawsuit is. And hey, we'll give him a chance because he's deciding he wants to take advantage of trying to do the right thing. And that's what he believes he's doing. And I agree with him wholeheartedly. But I want to shout out Kevin O'Connell in a huge way. Look, at the end of the day, this offense was anemic. It was bad. It was incredibly frustrating to watch Max Brosmer, who we had high hopes for. He looked really good in training camp in the preseason. Kind of came out of nowhere. He was QB4 and then just absolutely dominated Brett Rippon. And it was like, okay, maybe we have something here. The Seahawks game was brutal. But then he looked kind of competent against the Giants. It's like, okay, maybe he got the bug out of his system. Maybe we're in a position where he can grow and build from that. Oh, I'm just going to be real. He was really bad today. He was not comfortable in the pocket. It didn't help that it looked like the Lions' man coverage strategy was really working against these Vikings receivers. So I think the All-22 will give us those answers to figure out how much of that pocket presence was Max Brosmer just being terrible versus the defense just being really good and Brosmer just trying to create something, which is not his forte. But the reason why I want to shout out Kevin O'Connell is that jet sweep call to Jordan Addison is not the first time he's called it against the Lions this season. If you remember, not the final drive where they sealed the game, but the second to last drive against the Lions, they first started by running a counter toss. So everybody flowed to the left side, and even JJ McCarthy with a hard step and then a pitch to the backside, and Jones got like 10 yards. Then they ran a jet sweep to the near side, same direction, because what they wanted to do was take Aiden Hutchinson and get him a couple steps towards the quarterback because he is hyper aggressive. One of his best traits is he has that hot motor and he's going to come after you. He's going to go, 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 go. But the problem with that is you can take advantage of it, and you can't do it all the time. You have to lure him into a sense of stability, a sense of comfort with that move. And that's why late in the game, you run a jet sweep with Jordan Addison after you've run that motion multiple times, get him in that lulled sense of security, and boom, 63-yard touchdown. Those are the little details that we don't talk about enough. We talk about, hey, he should run the ball more. Why aren't we calling slants? Why are all these route concepts so deep? All valid questions, complaints, the whole shebang. But what we don't talk enough about play callers is the ability to take advantage of an opponent's tendency and exploit it. And that is how the Vikings gave us a Christmas present today. They gave us the first Christmas Day win, I think, in my lifetime. Second one, because 1989, they did beat the Bengals, but I was 18 days old. I don't necessarily think that counts. This is the first time I recall the Vikings winning on Christmas Day because they got smoked. What was it 56-35?
We don't play that often on Christmas.
No, I agree. That was the New Orleans Saints game in 2020. But man, we're going to have to talk a lot about draft position. We're going to have to talk a lot about, hey, we should have lost these games for draft position. Look, we all want a higher draft pick. The Minnesota Vikings have won 4 games in a row, and that fucking rules. That's so good for this team. That's so good for this culture, and that's so good going into next year. If you lose out on 3 or 4 spots, look, in the grand scheme of things, who cares? Because you won 4 in a row, and you may make it 5. That's such a big deal for this organization, for this team, who at one point was 4-8. Everything felt like it was dying. After that Seahawks game, Dave, I talked to you guys for about 3 minutes because I was at dinner in Mexico, and I told you guys straight up, I am losing faith in Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, and I meant it at the time because it looked anemic, it looked awful, it looked disinterested. The last 4 weeks, this team has completely flipped a script. They look engaged. They look like they fucking want it. They want to win football games. That is how you build a Super Bowl contender. The rest of it still has to come together. But if you don't have the guys who want it, you don't have the guys who drive. Aaron Jones should be out right now. That dude should not be playing football with how beat up he is. Brian O'Neill tried to play in this game, suffering his, 4th lower leg injury of the season? These guys want to be here. They want to play. That's how you build a Super Bowl contender. They got to figure a bunch out. But this is great stuff. I'm so fucking happy. This team won a football game today. I don't care about the draft position. I really don't. This is awesome. They knocked the Lions out of the playoffs. And yeah, it lets the Packers in. But they had to backdoor and they didn't earn it. They didn't earn that playoff spot. So we can always hold that over their heads. But you knocked the Lions out of the playoffs, and you didn't just knock them out. You beat their ass. You took them out behind the woodshed, and you kicked them in the mouth.
Our
and
defense
Jared Goff.
did.
Oh,
and Will
great.
Reichard.
Yeah, Will Reichard. The only 2 misses are the supposed kicks that hit the Skycam cables. Whether you believe that conspiracy theory or not, I think there's some merit. I also think there's some, we're all kind of crazy for believing it. But he's been tremendous. This defense, Dallas Turner has taken a huge step. Harrison Smith, he got baited by Jared Goff on that dagger concept, that 3rd and long, where Isaac Tesla caught that dig route because Jared Goff manipulated with his eyes. And you know what? Good for Goff. You get a guy like Harrison Smith to be manipulated with your eyes. That's awesome. Like, good for you. You know, he earned that. But then he absolutely doesn't get baited on the 3-step drop and pop, and he gets the interception on Amon-Ra St. Brown. This team came ready to play, and they wanted it. They wanted it more than the Lions did. And you know what? That rocks. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to run with it because that, like I said, that's how you build a Super Bowl winner. Guys who want to be here, guys who want to play hard, and guys who are going to put forth that effort. This ruled. It was an ugly football game. I hated watching this Vikings offense try to do anything, but it was great. They won the football game and they earned it.
Yeah. I didn't realize that it clinched Green Bay. Oh, well.
I know, but
well,
you know what? You knocked the Lions out.
One of them was making the playoffs at least. So,
well,
yeah.
Figure it's Chicago. So basically, last year's standings have flipped. 4 becomes 1, 3 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, 1 becomes 4.
You do have to give, like Kevin O'Connell as disappointing as the season has been, you do have to give him credit for holding things together and turning things around. Again, 4-8, you get shut out in Seattle. Things just look like they're just going down the toilet, and
we know what a crapper is.
Yeah, and then you get 4 straight wins, and some of them the last 2 were pretty ugly wins, but you got them, kept it together. Yes, that's a good sign for this team being able to overcome a lot of crap and still having the belief that they can win and playing hard to win and executing. So credit to the coaching staff for keeping things together and the players for not getting woe is me, down on myself, quitting when they were 4-8, and some guys could have easily packed it in. You're not seeing that from anybody on this team.
Chuck, the only way the Lions can get the 3rd seed is if we lose and they defeat Chicago next week.
Mm-hmm. And I got to tell you, it'll suck to have the 3rd place schedule in comparison to the 4th place schedule. But
because the NFC West.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I don't care. The Vikings have won 4 straight football games. I'm not going to tell you that sacrificing winning is a good thing just so you can have a slightly better schedule, which you have no guarantee will actually be better. That's a thing too. And that's something we talked about on Monday. Just because the schedule is better does not mean it's better. Mm-hmm. Like the Titans could take a huge step forward if they get the right head coach. The Cardinals, if they just figure out the offensive line, they can be significantly better. It's not like they're a terrible, terrible football team. Like, we're not that far away from 3rd place maybe being better. Like, it's such a difficult conversation, but I'm going to be real. Yeah. This team rules. This team is won 4 in a row, and they weren't gifted any of those wins. They won them. They straight up won them.
Mm-hmm. And this roster, if you get competent to pretty good quarterback play in 2026, it is strong enough to win the vast majority of their games. They've been doing that lately with not competent quarterback play in some cases.
Right. And you can look at that and beat up old linemen and all that. They're still winning. So
be nice to see. I don't know what a slight hairline fracture means for McCarthy's being able to play against Green Bay. I'm not expecting him to be able to suit up for that one, but it'd be nice to see him in there. It would give the offense a jolt.
It would help, I would think. Yes, but
and still need Jefferson to get 1,000 yards.
If we have all 3 offensive linemen, center, left tackle, right tackle, and TJ Hawkinson out again.
Yeah.
But we get better quarterback play. I would agree.
Yeah. I'm going to have to watch the All-22 to really know how much of that was on Max Brosmer. And look, no matter how many guys the Lions have out in that secondary, they just still play good man coverage. I don't know what it is. It's just a well-coached unit. And they spend a lot of resources on the back end, but also their depth guys just play well. Amik Robertson last year did a great job against Justin Jefferson. He was like their 4th corner. Sometimes you just play a good unit. And I want to try and figure out how much blame needs to go where as far as what's going on. But my vibe is Brosmer just doesn't have it. And that kind of stinks because I thought maybe there could be something there. I know a lot of us thought that maybe there could be something there, but I don't think there is.
Well,
and
I don't know. I think it isn't there this year, Tyler, but he shouldn't even be. I don't think when Max Brosmer made the team this year, he was thinking there's any chance I'll see like a 1 snap of NFL play. And now he's started 2 games. He's just not ready for it. He just needs practice, time under his belt, another preseason or 2. And, maybe and progress his way up. He's just too much, too fast. Hopefully he'll develop into a solid backup.
And that's what he was brought on for. And listen to you, Darren, talk common sense.
Doesn't happen that often.
Hey, that's what happens when you go south to Alberta and warm up a little bit.
Yeah. The brain thaws.
Yeah.
Look, it sucks that we have to work on Christmas, and I hope everybody's having a very Merry Christmas. So you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope your Thursday kicks ass. But this is just a great way to end this day. I don't think you could have asked for much better from this Vikings team as far as being able to get a win in somewhat convincing fashion, even though the offense stunk. It was great stuff. Great stuff. And now they have 10 days to prepare for the Green Bay Packers. And the one thing that really stunk that I don't think anybody talked about other than Ben Gessling tweeted, Elijah Williams got hurt and he missed the rest of the game. That sucks. I was hoping to see more Elijah Williams over the last couple of weeks because I wanted to see him continue to get some reps and see, hey, do we have something here? Or is this just kind of a flash in the pan UDFA, which we've seen a lot. But, man, we're getting guys some snaps. We're getting guys a lot of real experience without sacrificing a lot of the on-field play. I want to see what Michael Juergens looked like on film because I think the Vikings have given up on him, but he's still kind of auditioning for a shot to earn the center job next year. Mm-hmm. Blake Brandel showed at right tackle why he doesn't play tackle anymore. Like, if he engages with you, he'll shut you down, but he can't deal with speed. He does not have that foot speed. He never has.
That's why they moved him to backup guard. And he did well. And then they tried center, and he did pretty good after he settled down. Now he needs to practice the snaps, like we talked about. But
it's a big mix.
Even skied one today.
Mm-hmm. You got to get more out of the quarterback position, and that's going to be our big talking point pretty much all off season.
Oh, you know it will be.
We're going to have a lot of conversations about that, but we're also going to have a lot of conversations about many different topics. We're not just going to beat the same drum over and over and over and over and over again, because that's not what I would want to listen to. I would not want to listen to the same thing every single show. No, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about this wide receiver room. Do you keep Jalen Naylor? What do you do with Jordan Addison? We're going to talk about the tight end room, TJ Hawkinson, offensive line. Is center really that big of a priority? Do you need to spend another premium asset to fix one more spot on the offensive line? We're going to have a lot of fun conversations. And this Christmas, this is a good Christmas present.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. With that, any final words, gentlemen?
None for me.
I got cherry pie to get to.
Yes, get to it. Everybody else get to whatever they got to get to as well.
Mm-hmm. I've got ribs that I smoked earlier today. Dave, you should try this because I know you like to do this kind of stuff too. I use this super mild hot sauce as a binder. And it gave just enough of a spice without being overpowering, and it still stayed mellow in comparison to the flavor of the meat and the rub.
Cool.
Would high recommend.
Okay.
But yeah, I hope everybody has a very, very Merry Christmas. I hope, and if you don't celebrate, I hope your Thursday was great. Mm-hmm. And I look forward to seeing all of you on Monday when we talk a lot about the show, because I'll have a lot of time this weekend to dive into the film and have everything watched beforehand. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. And
we'll get Luke back for an X's and Skulls.
I'm hoping so. And yeah, I hope you guys had a great Christmas, because I'm gonna be honest, I did. And I know it was Marzipan's first Christmas too, and she is now sleeping like a baby.
Well, we got two old bloggers on Saturday, where I'm sure we'll be breaking down this game. And it's going to be interesting to see what Drew has to say.
Yeah.
With that, What do we say, gentlemen?
SKOL Vikings. Let's get 5 in a row.
SKOL Vikings.
SKOL Vikings. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And share this episode with your friends and even your enemies. We'd love it. Thanks for watching Vikings First and SKOL. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network, and we appreciate each and every one of you. SKOL.